Alright, welcome back to Star Ocean Anamnesis. So today we got Blue Sphere Leon and Chisato, but first there is something else I need to show off to you guys, because it's pretty cool. And it's this right here, Star Ocean First Departure. No, it's not that. It's this right here, a Persona 5 collab with Star Ocean Anamnesis. So there is no date for this yet, but it is going to happen as our next collaboration event, so that should be pretty exciting. I can't wait to spend all of my gems and not get any of the characters, but I guess that's it for that. So let's get into the actual update. So first up, we have the Henry, Vulcan, and Bacchus event, and this is one of the more recent events, so it has some new stuff in the shop, like Welch's Grease on the right side there, which you can use to remove gears from your weapons, and then you also have those carrots, which are also used in gear creation. So both of those are very valuable and rare in shops too, so be sure to pick them up. Then of course limit breakers, be sure to grab those. Then we have the event weapons. As always, recommend to transmute these or even turn them into gears. That's pretty much all they're good for. So for the accessories, we have the Dark Scarf, which gives you 2% HP recovery and increases single target damage by 10% when you're close to the enemy. Personally, I don't think this one's that great. Single target damage is pretty common, I guess. And 10% isn't even that great. And the HP recovery, you can find better HP recovery accessories, so wouldn't go with that. But the miniature spaceship model has elemental damage plus 10% when above 150 hits or more, and increases evasion speed and distance by 50%. Now, as far as I know, elemental damage on accessories doesn't stack with the particular elemental damage that weapons have, so yeah, this one isn't that great either for that, seeing as how most weapons already have elemental damage. The evasion speed and distance is very good for getting around the field though, but yeah, the first factor isn't that great, so I wouldn't recommend running that one either. And then the boss seems like a metal Vulcan. Pretty interesting. Weak against wind and dark, so I think that's it for this. And then the second rerun event is with Colleen and Airmat. Very nice. I've been looking for these two. Well, actually, I've been looking for Airmat. Don't have them yet. No. So, in this shop, as you can see, you're missing those gear items, so that sucks. But we do have limit breakers. Be sure to pick those up. And then, of course, the accessories. Now, these weapons actually have some cool abilities. Like the first one has elemental damage plus 10%, which again isn't great, but you could turn that into a gear. And then the second one has 5% lifesteal as its third factor, so that could make a good gear as well. But for the accessories, we have the red emblem, which increases movement speed by 30% and recovers 3% HP whenever you perform one of those perfect dodges. So that seems like a pretty good one. Movement speed is always nice for getting out of trouble and you know, just increasing passive survivability. And then the HP recovery is also very good for just recovering HP, I guess. A lot of characters that have HP or that have like AP recovery on dodges are pretty good with that, like A2, I guess. But then the second one is the Warrior's Hair Ornament, which increases rush damage by 15% when you're standing at close range and increases stun chance by 5%. Now this seems like a very good one for physical characters, so I might actually run that because I've been looking for rush damage and stun chance. So that seems like a very good one, but I don't think I have many like very specific close range characters, so that's gonna suck a little, but seems like a good accessory. And the boss is a mecha type enemy weak to fire. So on to the next one. And then we have the new event with Blue Sphere Leon and Chisato. Well, it's about time they got some alts. Actually, I think Leon got the butler version, but it's the first new Chisato alt. So in the shop we have some gifts for characters, mastery scrolls as always, and then some tickets. Now, the event weapons, these actually seem kind of, well, I don't really want to call them good. They don't really seem good as normal weapons, but they have some interesting factors. The first one has as its second factor, whenever you charge assault from long range to close range, that's what it is, right? Yeah, from long range to close range, you get critical damage plus 30% for 3 seconds, and if you have that third factor, it gives you 3% HP recovery, so that seems pretty nice, although I can't really think of any characters that can use that, like not even on gears, so I don't really know what you can do with that, but it seems cool. And then the same thing for the tome. That one also seems pretty cool, because that one has as its second factor, when you're above 300 hits or more, increases critical damage by 40%. That's a pretty big buff, and 300 hits shouldn't be that difficult to reach, because I've seen most parties reach that pre-rush, so 40% extra critical hit damage seems very nice, although it doesn't increase critical chance, so that seems kind of unfortunate, but maybe there's a character who can use that on a gear or something. And the new accessory is the high-tech watch and badge, which as its first factor increases the hit count timer by 1 second, and its second factor, when you're above 300 hits or more, increases the int damage that all enemies take by 10%. Now, this one also seems pretty cool, like all of the other recent accessories. They seem very good offensively. The hit counter plus 1 second doesn't really matter too much, seeing as how most characters can keep up the hit count without any kind of buff like that nowadays. So, but it works passively, so it doesn't really matter. And then the second factor with the 300 hit count, like I just said, 300 is very easy to achieve for most characters. And it increases int damage against all enemies by 10%, which stacks with normal int damage buffs. So that seems very nice for int characters. So if you're running any of those with some good hit count building skills, I highly recommend you use that, because it seems like a pretty good one. And then the boss is a bird type enemy, which is weak to fire and dark. Fire and dark, those are elements that I lack, so that's unfortunate for me, but I'm sure that other people are just going to carry me through it. So, aside from that, I think that's everything. And we also got a new awakening today with Mavel. Now, Mavel was actually a pretty interesting character before the awakening, so I'm pretty excited to see how good she is now, because she got some very cool buffs. No pun intended, of course, seeing as how she's an ice user. So her first talent increases her int by 50%, which now brings it up to 4,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then her second talent, after using Hill Orb or Ice Needles, the AP cost of her skills goes up by 60% now instead of 100%, and it increases the damage of her ice symbology by 300% for 20 seconds. And then her third talent gives her AP regen plus 150% after she uses Shiny Lancer. Then her fourth talent increases the AP recovery of or AP regen speed of every ally by 50% and still gives her super armor while casting. And then her new fifth talent, whenever she's above skill chain 2, her cast times go down by 90% and she gets normal AP recovery while she is walking. And then her last talent nullifies the critical hits that she takes while she is charge assaulting, and whenever she charge assaults, her combos also start at a 200% cancel bonus, and then her rush now has a 5,500% multiplier. So Mavel seems kind of unstoppable right now. Before this, she had that unique ability where she got that 300% extra ice damage, but she was only able to use Hail Orb once in her combo, which means she could only get up to 150% cancel bonus. But now I believe she can actually get up to 300%. So that should even further increase the damage of Hail Orb. Her int stat is now way higher, like up to modern day standards. She has a huge rush multiplier now, and she also has a new ability, the Ice Needle, so I don't know how much AP that costs. I think Ice Needle doesn't cost that much AP, so yeah, she should be able to get up to 300% now, and of course she gets that really quick AP regen while walking too, so if you just increase her, not her AP recovery speed, her dodging speed or movement speed even, she's just gonna be zipping around the field, so she should be a very powerful caster, and I can't wait to see what kind of mastery talents we get for casters in the future, because right now I think the only one we have is the one from Eris, and that doesn't really pair well with her, but depending on what we get in the future, she might be like completely broken. And for the new characters, we have Blue Sphere Chisato. First of all, oh my god, now there's two of them. Great, more ways to get spooked. Well, actually, she's semi-permanent, so she can't really spook you, I guess, but it's the thought that counts. So, for her first talent, at 300 hits or higher, her Angel Feather goes up to 50%, or it buffs up to 50%. So right here you can see Burning Curse has an Angel Feather effect of 20%, but at 300 hits or higher it becomes 50%. So her second talent, whenever she charge assaults from close range to long range, she increases the rush gauge of all allies by a little bit, and whenever she charge assaults from long range to close range, her attack goes up by 30% for 10 seconds. Then her third talent increases the hit count timer by 2 seconds and gives everybody 100% AP recovery on normals. And then her last talent, at 150 hits or higher, it increases everybody's attack and int damage by 20%. And she also has a mastery. Whenever you charge assault from long range to close range, it completely nullifies damage and increases your critical hit rate by 20% for 3 seconds. Very similar to Summer Tika, which makes me wonder, why does she have it? Because there's like 3 attackers with masteries now and 1 caster and no defender, sharpshooters, or healers. Actually, is there a healer? No, there is no healer. Whatever. And then her Rush, Fire, Shoot has a 4500% multiplier, and it increases the entire party's damage by 80% for 20 seconds. And then she's got 3 close range skills as well as the Angel Feather long range skill. So it looks like the combo that you would do here is use her last skill into Burning Curse into her last skill, and then keep looping that just to go from long range to close range every single time so that you get the buffs for your allies. So Blue Sphere Chisato seems pretty good. It's pretty cool that they've kept the same gimmick that her original version has with the rush gauge increases, except her normal version can only increase rush gauge. She doesn't really do anything else, but this one has a ton more buffs. That Angel Feather in particular, I don't think there's another character that has a 50% Angel Feather. I could be wrong, but regardless, a 50% Angel Feather is very nice, especially if you pair that up with an attack buff for like Colleen or something, especially seeing as how she's hit count based. So like Colleen and then a converter like Mystima or something. And is there another way to buff attack? I don't think there is, but you could increase Blossom Maria's attack to insane levels as well as Air Mat, so that seems like a very nice buff right there. And then, of course, the charge resulting from long range to close range is very nice with her mastery talent right there. Of course, increases the rush gauge for all allies. That also seems like a very good one. I don't know how good her damage output would be, seeing as how she only has a 2700 attack stat, and she doesn't really do much for her attack. Well, actually, she does increase it whenever she charge assaults from long range to close range, which brings it up to a decent number, and this attack does have an 840 multiplier, so that seems cool. It doesn't seem like it'll reach numbers that Air Mat can reach, or Roddick, for instance, but seems very nice. And then, of course, attack and in damage buff plus 20% for all allies. Doesn't seem that great, but it is there, and of course, she does increase damage for the entire party by 80%. I think she's the only one aside from Claire that can do that, so overall that seems like a very nice one, especially for assists. And then up next we have Blue Sphere Leon with his snazzy jacket. So his first talent increases the entire party's attack and instat by 30%, or by 60% when you're above 200 hits or more. And then his second talent increases the entire party's critical hit rate by 50% when you're above 300 hits or more. His third talent gives him AP cost reduction of 15% and 30% whenever the hit count is sitting at 50 or 150 hits respectively. It increases his AP regen by 50%, and it also gives the entire party normal AP regen while they're walking. And then his last talent reduces his cast time by 90% at long range, and whenever he's standing at long range, it gives him a 90-10 guts. And his Rush World of Death has a 4500% int multiplier and reduces AP cost for the entire party by 70% for 7 seconds. And then he has a pretty standard dark casting layout for his battle skills, but the skill at the bottom there, Dark Passage, with its 920% int multiplier and a 10 hit count, seems like his main damage skill. Has a huge AP cost, but he does have talents to reduce that AP cost, plus he has that 70% AP cost reduction post rush, so maybe you could even loop that together with his other talents, so that seems very nice. And of course his assist skill is also very powerful. It's that same AP cost reduction. You'd have to coordinate that with your allies somehow, but that seems like it could be a very good assist skill. So Leon seems very straightforward. This is what I imagine the normal Leon's Awakening could look like. It's very standard. Unlike a lot of more recent characters that have like one specific thing that they're good at, he just seems like a very standard caster with his party-wide attack and int buffs. He has a very powerful dark elemental skill that has a high AP cost, but he decreases his AP cost. Then of course he has some very quick cast times because he uses the tome, and he can also reduce his cast times by 90%, has that guts as well, which gives him survivability. So he seems like a good character for public play, although all of his skills are locked to dark and enemies have resistances, so that does make him a little less desirable, I would imagine. So my thoughts, Chisato seems like she would make a very good pair with Colleen, so if you have her, you could make a deadly combination. And like I said, Leon seems good for public play. Personally, I wouldn't roll on this banner, mostly because I know the Persona 5 collab is coming up, so I want to save gems for that. But if you like them, then by all means, go right ahead. And of course, in today's meta, you can pretty much use whatever character you want. Like, it really doesn't matter. You can pass every single piece of content with just a randomly put together party. And that does it for the update, so let me know what you think about the Persona 5 collab that's upcoming. What characters do you think are going to appear? Because honestly, I don't think they're going to have every single member of the Phantom Thieves. There's just too many of those, so let me know what you think, and I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace!